Okay, I was born here in San Jose. I was born on 4th Street, across the street from the Kelly's liquor store. I lived there for maybe about a year, and then we moved to 20th Street, where I grew up the rest of my life. I've always loved San Jose because it was almost like my protection blanket. You know, I've traveled many places. I've been throughout the South, especially because I was in the Army, and so I've been to many different places. I've been to North Carolina, South Carolina. I've been to Alabama, Georgia, Indiana, up around New York and everything. So of all of those places, and I've liked many of them, but I still wanted to come back and live in San Jose, not only for its weather, but because the way people, I'm just known, and I love the people in San Jose, and they seem to like me, at least, if not love me, but and that's sufficient for me. There were 6 of us in the family, and if one of us would catch something, I think my mother would almost rub us together so that we could get that disease out of us by all having it at the same time. And I was never sick except little things like colds or anything like that. And if we did have a cold, we knew everybody on the whole block. And if I wasn't out playing, we'd have people to come and bring soup and stuff like that and say, where's Robert? Well, he's got a cold. Okay, I'll make some of this soup and bring down to him. We had four different types of fruit trees on our property. We had an apricot tree, we had a pear tree, plum tree, and a peach tree. So we didn't have to worry about going to the store or anything to get fruits and vegetables. What we didn't have, our neighbors had, and we would exchange with them, and they would exchange with us. I had an awful lot of friends. I'd say maybe about personal friends, I'd say at least 30 that were real. And nowadays, I think people are lucky to find 2. A lot of times the people maybe don't want to associate with you, but if you treat them in such a way that they figure that, gee, let me at least try and find out what type of a person he is. 90% of the time, I think if you are the type of person that embraces a person, they will embrace you back. One of the reasons I started playing the piano was because I wanted to write music. At least I figured I could write music. So I had taken classes in orchestration, composing, composition, and everything. So the main reason I started with the piano was to get the chord progression and to break the music down into the 4-part harmony, because I can take a chord and arrange it for, different instruments. Music is an outlet for, it has a lot of value. I know, like when we were in the service, I played trumpet, so we used to form little bands, and in order to make a little extra money, we would go out and play for weddings, or somebody needed a trumpet player or something like that. There are times that you can get out your instrument and express feeling. If you're feeling sad, maybe you'll play some sad music. If you're feeling worried, maybe you couldn't talk to somebody and get the same results. I think a lot of times you can do it, and I know people that would do the same thing. They'd be tinkling on the piano and everything, mainly because they were letting out some emotions that we were feeling. I was very fortunate because I was in scouting and I had the 10 Commandments, and they seemed to work side by side with each other, the various things that a scout shouldn't do, because you are a reflection, as a leader, you're a reflection on what you do, and hopefully people will follow the things that you do. So you've got to be very careful in what you do so that you don't discredit yourself and the very organization or the beliefs that you have. When I had my first troop down at Grant School, I had about 40 boys, and I think it was a rainbow coalition because I had, you name it, I had German, I had Italian, I had Japanese, Chinese, Filipino, Caucasians, African Americans, And we got along beautifully. You can only learn a certain amount from each nationality, but when you mix and you find out there's always something to be learned. That's one thing I like about scouting is because I have kids that are 8, 9, and 10, and I can learn from them as well as I can from the adults. So it's really wonderful each day is a different experience by learning something that I didn't know yesterday.